Hey
Although,
guys, and welcome to another episode of Confessional. My name is Katy Hunt, and I'm here to guide you through the good, the bad, and the ugly of the convention world, and sometimes with a little help from my friends. And this week, I have one of my friends I work with at Anime Boston. You might know her if you are in the cosplay world, deep, like underground cosplay world. Miss Corey, how are you?
hi, good to be
Hi.
here.
Why don't you introduce yourself to the masses?
Sure. I'm Corey. I go by Lady Cells in the cosplay world. I've been cosplaying for, like 20 years now. I feel really old, so
Listen,
old.
I'm there with you. I'm there with
Yeah,
you.
it's true. It's true. But yeah, I've been doing craftsmanship work for a very long time, and I don't know, how long have we known each other?
Oh God. I mean, we predate Anime Boston when I started working for it.
Yep.
I would
Yeah,
say maybe Kineticon.
I think so. Yeah. Because
What
I
did you work for AAC at all?
No, I don't think I ever did officially work for AC.
So yeah, so probably at least since Kineticon, and I was at Kineticon starting in 2009.
Yeah, I think I first started in 2007.
Okay.
But I remember you and I were on the Masquerade judging at one point. I think
Hmm.
like a long time ago.
Many moons.
Yes.
Many moons.
Oh,
I know, man. It's just like you don't think about it because you're like, well, I've just been doing this like hobby forever, and then you go to a convention and you meet some like child, and they're just like, "Cool, you started cosplaying the year I was born." I'm like, "Cool."
oh, that reminds me. Recently, I was at or recently last year at Otakon, I was there and cosplaying. I took a break. I was sitting chilling, and a kid comes up to me, like it's literally maybe 18, 19-year-old kid.
Hmm.
And we get to talking. He goes, "Oh, is this your first con?" And I just can't help but like big belly laugh, like, "Oh, you sweet, sweet summer child."
Yes, you lie, Corey. Those moments don't come very often.
No, no, they do not.
Oh God, yeah, no. I think 2009. I started at Kineticon, and I was there until 2014.
Yeah, I think you
So,
stayed a little bit longer than I did.
mm,
I want to say I think it was 2013 was my last 13 or 12 was my last year.
hmm.
I just got too busy and just couldn't and dropped out. And then,
Is that the
well,
nice story, or is that the real
that's a
story?
nice story. Yeah, there's
So
drama
busy.
there. There's always drama when it comes to that con.
Oh my
Um,
God.
I think like the simple version was I started working for Anime Boston. I just liked Anime Boston better.
Mm-hmm.
And when like comparing the two and what kind of energy I could put forward, I'm like, I'm gonna go with Boston.
Yeah, I I 100% agree with that. I wish Boston had come into my life a little bit sooner than it did. But I mean, technically it was in my life because I judged there for so long.
Mm-hmm.
It's just when the opportunity arose to actually like be on the staff, I was like, yeah, why the hell didn't I do this sooner?
Yeah, I mean, same with me. Like, I think I want to say it was 2011 or 12 is when I started judging for them.
Hmm.
I judged for like 2 years and then I took a year off and then they had me come back as a judge slash liaison. So like I was staff, but I was also judging. So
Sure.
yeah. And it's honestly one of my highlights of my year to go back there and get to see all the babies come back and with their costumes and watch how they grew over the year and just like
Hmm. And then there were new babies this year.
there were so many new babies. It
It
was
was,
great.
it was so cute. They were all so cute, and they were all so good. Jesus, I don't
Yes.
know how
Oh
you
my.
guys judge that competition.
Oh, it was tough. It was tough, especially considering like our novices knocked it out of the park. Like
Hmm.
these are people who I don't know, people listening, if you are familiar with our novices. Our novices are usually people who have never ever entered a cosplay contest before,
Hmm.
ever.
Right.
And they were coming in, and some of them had work. We were seriously like, should we bump them? Because some, and I don't mean to talk shit about our intermediates. Our intermediates are great too, but like there were novices giving our intermediates run for their money.
Well, it wasn't even that. It's just like I think as far as like the the judging went, if I remember correctly, it was like you guys had a bunch of novice, you had a bunch of masters, and you only had like maybe one or two intermediates.
And we had a few more. I think we had like I don't know, at least 15 intermediates. So we had a decent amount.
Okay, okay.
But like it was true, the novices filled up super quick, and
Hmm.
to the point we had to shut the wait list off because we had so many novices trying to enter,
Hmm.
and there was no way we could have them all.
Yeah.
So,
But
which
that doesn't mean
is
you guys shouldn't
phenomenal.
try, because like it's quite the competition. You should
Oh
definitely
yeah,
like keep trying every year.
exactly. And like a lot of our novices, they got their feet wet. They want to come back. They want to compete more. I field a lot of the feedback. So after the con, and this is something that I don't see at other cons as much as Anime Boston,
Hmm.
but we have a feedback system of like people can request feedback from the judges and we connect it to them so they
Sure.
can get after the con is over on their leisure, which I say that as I have, I think, two sitting in my inboxes I have not gotten to in the last couple days, um, which I will get to after this, I promise. um,
Holding you to it.
yeah, but by the time this goes live, like, they'll be answered.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's not something you see a lot at other cons. A lot of other cons, unless you can find a judge and contact them, and
Right.
even then, it's a little weird. Like,
Right. Right.
we give that feedback, which I wish more cons would do.
I did the costume judging at Kineticon and AAC for several years, but the only judging I ever did at Boston was performance judge. And even then, it's like you guys have all the costumes you have to go through and everything. Like you take, like, I feel bad because you guys are there for 2 days going through every single costume that's competing in both. And then performance judges are like, okay, we've got 2 hours to figure out who the hell's getting this.
Well, it's different basing because, like, one's a marathon, one's a sprint.
Right.
Like,
It's really just like, okay, cool. Did you like this one? Fine.
yep. And I mean, I get lucky because, again, as staff, I get to see previews of all the skits coming up, and I get
Hmm.
hyped.
Hmm.
So I'll see somebody come out on stage and be like, oh, I know this audio. I know who's coming. I can't wait to see it, like, live. And with craftsmanship, like, we don't get a lot of time with each person. We get maybe 5 to 10 minutes to see them, look at their build book. Um, if they have questions that we want answered, we got to ask then and give the feedback all in that time before the next person comes in the door.
Right.
So it is just a whirlwind over 2 days, and it's a lot. It's like 8 to 10 hours a day for 2 days.
But it's literally like an Ironman race, just like you said,
Yeah.
because I mean, like everybody that comes to like compete comes to compete.
Yes,
Like
it
it's
is true.
hardcore. And the thing was, even with the skits this year, and it's funny because even when I'm backstage now and hosting the masquerade, I'm still in judging mode. Like I can't turn it off.
No,
Like
you can't.
I can't turn it off. It's just it's been in my blood for like over a decade or decade and a half now almost. And just like watching stuff, I'm just like, okay. And the skits this year at Anime Boston,
Yeah. They
like
were so much fun.
they were all on point. It was like, how the hell would you pick any of this?
I know. I mean, like I said, it's such a hard job to be a performance judge because it's so quick. It's so rapid fire. You have to digest, look for key things, and just be like, good, go. With craftsmanship, at least, usually for us, it's a lot. It depends on the skill level, too.
Sure.
Like, this year, novice was so hard to judge because, like, we were looking for, little things we could add more points because with craftsmanship judging, we don't subtract points. That's not the way we work.
Hmm.
We're looking for like things that can bump you up in our standing. So
Right.
like if this person is doing finished seams, we're going to bump them a little bit higher versus this person who left a raw edge who,
Right.
it looks great unless they can justify it. Like if it's a raw edge because the character ripped their clothing, like that's a valid reason too.
Yeah.
But
It's like you don't lose points, you just add on.
right.
Like you
Like
can get 110% in this class.
exactly. I mean, that's when we put like a big note of like, this person's getting something when we have that.
Oh yeah, I used to do that all the time. I'd be sitting there and we'd be like looking at something, and before they even left the room, it'd be like I'd be like written all over their sheet, just like they're getting something or I'm quitting.
Yes.
Like you either give them a prize or I'm going to make one out of something at Craft like
Yep.
HQ.
There were a couple people this year who I wish we could have given prizes to. Like we don't have a most improved category at all, but like I've been doing this so long, and our group of judges have been pretty stable.
Hmm.
Not too many adjustments, although we'll see how the future holds. But
Right.
like watching these people grow over the years, like we personally, I don't think this year I had anyone who competed who was a close friend. Sometimes I have close friends who compete, and I always step out of the room when that happens. But
Right.
um, this year, just watching the competitors who I saw first like 5, 6, 7 years ago Although now I have to add 2 years onto that because, like, oh yeah, we had a whole, panini in the middle.
Right, there's a
Uh,
panoramic.
exactly. So watching them grow steadily over time and then have a 2 year pause and come back and just the growth that they've done was so amazing. And I was tearing up for some of them. Like, oh
Oh
my
yeah.
goodness.
It's like, what did you do in isolation? I got better. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Well,
They did
I
the
didn't make
drills.
anything, so
Yeah.
and then
I was stuck at home for like 2 years because I teach and we all went virtual
mhm,
and like I went a little crazy and ended up making a lot of stuff
mhm.
because I had nothing else to do.
Yeah, I just like, and that's the thing is like my job. It wasn't a you can work from home job. It's a
Yeah.
restaurant, So it's like, well,
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was about like just keeping sane because I was trying to teach kids.
oh yeah, I mean,
And
yeah,
like we had classes of like 20, 30 kids, and I get on and they're all black screens.
mhm.
Like no interaction whatsoever with these kids. We don't know. It's like we call it teaching to the void.
The
So
void.
there's only so many hours a day I can teach to the void before I'm like, I need to make something for validation.
Right.
And like we're still partially doing that. Like I'm running a whole bunch of teacher PD, which is could be up to 100 people, could be 5. I don't know. And it's all to the void.
It's a crapshoot.
Exactly.
Is anybody there? Does anybody care?
It's like I can't remember who it was. Somebody I follow was like, Zooms are like a seance. It's essentially like, Chris, are you there? Can you hear us?
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
I'm here on the other side.
I'm not a cat.
Not a- Oh my god.
Uh,
All right. So, where was your first? Where was the first place you ever competed in cosplay?
it was probably Connecticut, honestly.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Hold
yes,
on.
it was. No, it wasn't Connecticut. It was Anime Next in 2003.
Okay.
Because there's no photos that exist of it. That's why. I keep
remember.
forgetting. This was back when, like, most people didn't have phone cameras. Most people carried around those little disposable ones you would get at, like, CVS.
Right.
And develop afterwards. I think I had pictures of them somewhere, milling around. I did a Halloween Town Sora, and I was so nervous. Like, I only recently have I started coming out of my shell to have any kind of stage presence that's not like me trying to run for the hills. And I'm like, shaking in my boots on stage with this giant keyblade made of pink insulation foam. Because that was the thing back then.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And the paper mache didn't work. So it was literally coated in like 3 layers of painted duct tape.
Perfect.
But the thing that I loved is like that thing could have taken out somebody. It wasn't like a keyblade.
Right.
I think the shaft of it was maybe 6 inches thick.
Mm-hmm.
It was huge. It was absolutely ridiculous. And of course I didn't win anything because like here I was, first time up there. But like it was fun and it inspired me to keep going. So
My question is, did anybody weapon check it?
no. No one did.
Nah. I'm literally carrying around like a brick of foam and duct tape, but doesn't seem to be,
I mean,
doesn't seem to be a problem.
I wish I still had pictures of it because this thing was like absolutely oversized, ridiculous. Like I had no sense of scale at the time, so
It's as big as you are.
yep.
Oh. So what was the first one that you actually won something at?
So another equally embarrassing one because materials back then were like, my first win was actually a Best in Show at Anime Boston.
Same. Well, kind of same.
The costume by today's standards was absolutely terrible. Like I had to end up. It fell off during the con, part of it, so I had to duct tape it.
Mm-hmm,
I did Bahamut from Final Fantasy X on 3-foot drywall stilts.
Sure.
With like a 15-foot wingspan. And I went on the forums and recruited a Yuna, and we did a skit and we won Best in Show.
What year was that?
It was either 2005 or 2006.
Okay.
Because I know in 2007, I did a different costume. I didn't win anything at Anime Boston. I won it at Connecticut. But, yeah. I competed a lot until about 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started going to school, and like, good luck trying to have time to make stuff out of school that's competition grade.
Yeah, right.
So,
My competing was 2 years. I competed for 2 years total. And it was the most hectic 2 years of my life, and it was always at Anime Boston. And the first skit was a Ultra Clutch hairspray spoof with Tamaki.
I remember that.
Yeah,
oh my
I was
God.
the Ultra Clutch Tamaki.
Oh my goodness, I do remember that.
But do you remember that, like, when they announced us for a judges award, they only announced me?
That I don't remember, but oh my goodness, I'm
Yeah,
not
I got
surprised.
singled out of my group, and I was like, wow, this is awkward.
Aw.
This is awkward. And then the following year was the Best in Show for Dead Moon Circus.
Yep, I remember that one.
And then I was done competing.
Yeah. Yeah. I went to school, and I think it was my second year of school, and I'm just like, there's no way I can be making costumes for school and for competition. So I dropped that. And it wasn't until I finished my graduate degree that I started competing again. And of course, I decided I'm going to get back into competition. I'm going to compete at KatsuCon.
Duh.
And I'm going to compete at the very next con, which was 2020.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was going to be my big return. And admittedly, I did win Best Masters at Katsu.
There you go.
But then everything happened.
And then the world shut down.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is this whole thing's your fault.
Oh, it's entirely my fault.
Gotta compete again, guys. World shuts down. No, you're not.
No. I did end up doing a bunch of online contests, but like, it's that whole presentation thing of you have to present yourself
Right.
in a video format.
Sure.
And like, there's a reason I don't have a TikTok. I don't word good. So I was not always, I got a lot of second place masters in a lot of contests, but like, that's why I'm hoping this year I'm going to compete at Otakon and see if I can get, maybe a little bit more than second place. So,
you know what the thing is like, I have a lot of costumes that I've made since I like technically stopped competing that I would love to go to a convention and compete in. They're not necessarily like an anime costume of any kind, but that doesn't mean you can't compete at like Katsu or other conventions that have like non-anime categories and stuff. The problem is finding a convention that I won't die sweating to death in the costume.
Yeah, it's I mean, I'm dreading Otakon a little bit because it's down here in DC in the end of July, beginning of August, and we are a literal swamp. So, and here I am deciding to do a Saikuzo that's like, I think up to 8 layers now. But
so you hate yourself.
Oh, I totally hate myself. But the way I've gotten around that is I make a lot of undergarments now that are sweat wicking. And that helps.
Sure.
And pit pads. I've returned to my early days in theater of like always doing pit pads and costumes. But choosing cons that have very good air conditioning and knowing where I can be for that is like absolute key.
Where can I actually sit on the blower?
Right. Like tomorrow, we've got a local group here that does every month like a photo shoot event. And the one this month is at an outdoor park. And people are like, oh, you should wear it there. And I'm like, it's going to be 92 out. Oh, hell no.
No.
Like, I'm going to hold that costume. And then when we shoot at the portrait gallery, which is indoors, then I'll take it out.
We're going to put a pin in that and we'll come back to it.
Yeah. It's like I have the worst timing for like when I'm doing costumes because the other costume I've got ready is Evil Queen, which is all velvet. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the 2 big ones that I want to compete in are both my Percy costumes.
Yeah.
Like,
which would be gorgeous at con. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, they were made to look good on stage. The problem is one of them is full bear fur on the inside.
I mean, just pick a winter con. Katsu.
I need someplace where it's
I will
snowing.
say, don't do Katsu. You'll hate yourself.
Well, it's funny because I was actually talking to my sister about it the other day. It's like, I can never go to Katsu because I work with a theater company and one of our productions always ends up happening the weekend, like it opens the weekend of KatsuCon.
Oh.
So if KatsuCon wants to like, be later in the year or earlier in the year, I could go to KatsuCon, but nah.
So I do have some drama on Katsu. Because having competed there and a mutual friend of ours actually was there as my emotional support person.
Love it.
And so, well, first off, have done a couple cons before. I've competed frequently. I've judged frequently. It is the single most poorly organized event I've ever been to, because you just didn't know where you were supposed to be,
Sure.
like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I communicated ahead of time because I have a disability. You know, I need easy access to the stage. I can't really do stairs, all that. Crickets, absolute crickets, and never got a reply back. Finally get there. When I arrived at the con, I didn't know my judging time, my judging day, nor did I know like my rehearsal at all. I had to find out from like someone walking around the con what time the next morning I was supposed to be in there for judging. And then after, they're like, oh, just head over and they'll get you eventually.
Head over where?
Exactly. So, like, we get there and they give us a rehearsal and then they send us to the back for our audio. And it's just like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently this year they implemented something new where if you didn't show up a half an hour before they told everybody to, you were disqualified.
Okay.
Yeah. It's an interesting event, but here's where the real drama is. The show, we're in the green room, which for them, a green room was an empty panel room with a few seats around the edge, a big, what do you call it? Like a screen that's like a pop-up screen in the middle of the room, and everybody's on the floor.
Sure,
like,
sure.
That's the green room. No real seating to speak of. And we're starting to watch the show, and we start noticing something a little odd. As the performers are coming on and doing their skits, we're not getting to see their faces.
But
we're not getting to see their costumes in full.
But
we get to see their feet.
Oh.
The guy who was the cameraman, we all are like 100% certain he had a foot fetish.
I was going to say, like, a fetish?
Totally. I mean, like, zoom in on all of the feet for all of the skits. Like, we never got to really see them talking. So, and our mutual friend, Lindsay, was the one to start this, because of course she was.
Because of course she was.
Of course she was. Whenever we got to zoom in on a feet or shoes, she would go, shoes! And get everyone in the room to start screaming.
Shoes!
Yep. So we were all screaming shoes, and there was a Saber cosplayer who we were like joking around. She got some gaff tape, and she wrote hi in gaff tape on her shoe. Lindsay still has pictures of this, actually.
Oh my god.
So, like, we were trying to, like, call him out for this.
See, the problem is what you should have done, if that was, like, a thing back in the day, is put, like, a fake OnlyFans account on him.
Oh, yeah. We should have. But, like, here I was, like, at the time, you know, because I have bad stage fright still, I was, like, a little nervous wreck of, like, oh my god, am I going to be okay on stage? And, of course, I swung my giant, almost 5 foot tall sword, like, almost my height, in the middle of the air, and like almost lost my balance, but like recovered. Keep going. Show must go on.
Right.
Thankfully, I'm only a craftsmanship person, so like my judging was complete before I even stepped on stage. So that's why I like craftsmanship, because it's like I show up, I give my presentation. When I leave that room, the stage does not matter. It's just to look pretty.
Right. Here I am. Bye.
Exactly. So that's why I'm looking forward to Otakon, because Otakon's the same way with their craftsmanship hall contest. You just get your nice, private, quiet room to show off your costume. And, like, I am 100% preparing to strip down layers for them, because, like, I made all my layers, so...
But also to breathe for 5 minutes.
Exactly.
I'll take this off. It's fine.
So, like, but it's a nice, quiet room, because, like, there's no way I'm doing a... Well, it's not even Regency. It's 1880s, 1890s, Gibson girl. That's the period. I'm not doing a Gibson girl strip on stage at Otakon. Like, that would not be cool.
No, I wouldn't recommend it.
No. I mean, to be fair, all they'd be seeing is my ankles, but...
Right, exactly. The cameraman had his way.
Yeah.
And now you have an OnlyFans page on there. Make some money out of it. Fund my next project.
But yeah, no. And then the cream of the crop, like, won Best Masters, met the woman who won Best in Show. We get out of there, we get our prize. It's $20 to Joanne's. That's what we got for all of that.
To be fair, though, $20 to Joanne's goes a long way with all those coupons.
A little bit. I mean, to be fair, this is 2020. Like, $20 to Joanne's back in, like, 2010 would be totally fine. Like, I'd be jazzed, but Otacon's giving away like all this fancy stuff. Katsu, which arguably has like more people, like
Okay.
yeah. But like I was asked if I wanted to compete again this year with my armor, and I'm like, no, I'm not going through that again. Like, I know I can win there, but it's a lot of work for foot fetish payoff. I don't know.
Right. Well, that's the thing. You get $20 Joanne gift card, and then you go home, you check your bank account, and you've got like $8,000 because somebody liked your feet. So,
Yep, that's true.
so there's the real winner right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, am I wrong, or like every year, our group at Boston, they try to get together like a group of some kind at cosplay ops, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think they mentioned Clamp this year,
Yeah, I think that's what they want to do for next year coming up.
and I'm in. I just want to go on the record that Clamp is my literal everything.
I can never choose. I mean, like when I was I think it was 2005, 4 or 5. I did Tomoyo from Tsubasa Chronicles.
Mm-hmm.
But like since like I can't pick, Sakura has too many fun costumes, and like I can't narrow it down.
Oh, the only Clamp show, funny enough, that I've ever cosplayed from is X.
Okay.
And I did Subaru.
Yep.
Because I loved Subaru at the time. But now it's like, if we have enough people in our group, I really think we should get an X group together. That means making that sword.
Yeah. I mean, I can 3D print it for you, right?
I know you could, Corey. That's why we're having a conversation right now.
Exactly. Actually, I just got a large bed printer, which is my new favorite thing because it prints by itself overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So all I have to do is like prep the file, put it on, and just let it go for a couple days, and it'll print the thing for me.
Like, would it even print that blade, though, or would the blade have to be something separate?
You'd probably do it in pieces, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Although they do make a printer that's on a conveyor belt now. It can print swords continuously.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's exciting.
It was on my wish list for my job to get one.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't get that one, but you know what they did get, finally? What? They got the chocolate printer.
What?
We can 3D print chocolate.
What?
Yep.
That seems so useful.
Oh, yeah.
Can you make my sword as chocolate?
It's a tiny printer. We'd have to print it in lots of pieces, but we could.
It's like a toothpick size.
Oh, we could do that. Oh, like hors d'oeuvres for people?
Like little chocolate toothpick swords?
Mm-hmm. Because that's the art part. We have a glow forge, and the glow forge, it's for laser cutting, but you can laser engrave onto food.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, we were talking about doing, like, a little 3D print and then little crackers with our logos on it, and it's just like,
That's exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, if I got to throw my suggestion into the hat, an X group would be sick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do enough group cosplays just because I am a lonely island out here down in DC. Like, I'm not around everybody. But, like, I do have a group coming up for Katsu I'm looking forward to. We got a whole group together to do the Sweet Eevees from Sunset Dragon.
Sure.
So we actually contacted her, and she got us the actual print files for all the skirts.
Oh, neat.
So that made that a lot easier. But, like, it sucks because I finished the costume really early, and I can't wear it, and I can't take pictures of it until the group shows it at Katsu. So it's like sitting here like,
taunting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to be like manipulated into groups. Because it's not like I don't want to cosplay. I love cosplaying. I feel like my costumes come out better if it's something that I am very passionate about.
I agree.
So I have to be like manipulated into liking something enough to actually make a costume for it now. Back in the day, it was like, hey, we're all going as Kaiken phrase. Cool, I'll make this costume.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're all going as this group. And like, cool, I guess I'll make this costume. And I had like 16 costumes to show up at the convention. And now it's like, all right, I'll make another Percy because I adore Critical Role, or I'll make another like Hamilton costume because I'm trash. But like, it's just like one of those things. I have costumes on the docket are ones that are like passion projects of mine that like now that my life has settled down again and I moved back into a house of some kind, like I'm going to get working on costumes that I've had on the back burner for a while. But yeah, it's like group cosplay for me. It's literally got to be like, all right, well, what's in it for me?
I mean, for me, I get so socially awkward when I'm left to my own devices at a con that, like, I try to find groups and gravitate toward them.
Mm-hmm.
So, group cosplays for me kind of are like a safety net.
Sure.
But at the same time, same thing. Like, I am a highly detailed craftsman. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I will make things that I look and go, ooh, I want to make that.
Right.
So, especially with group cosplays where they tend to be simpler costumes, it's so hard for me to get on with that.
Oh, totally understand.
Like, right now, I'm trying. I'm really trying to make a simple costume. I'm making I'm trying to make a comfy costume, which is like completely outside my wheelhouse because I am the queen of like over-engineered like craziness. I'm making a Kiger dress. And I'm in applique hell because I decided to do the N7 armor from Mass Effect for it.
Because you hate yourself?
Because I hate myself. And like each piece is like, 30 pieces of applique now.
But why?
Because I'm crazy. And here I am like, oh god, I tried to get carbon fiber heat transfer vinyl. But like, so I got it and it looked great. And then I went to put it on and they're like, oh, we printed it backwards. So it melted on my iron.
No.
It didn't melt on the applique, thankfully.
Yes, but, that is, thank God.
Yeah. Oh, I would have, had a fit because like that was going on to the hood, which is made to look like the entire helmet. Oh, no. I hate myself so much. And then like I'm trying to do a Charizard, simple kind of, belly dancer-esque thing, but I'm gonna be like, it's missing something. I'm gonna make a full suit of armor for it.
No.
Yep. And, it's missing something. I am going to bedazzle the heck out of the flare sleeves with, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 rhinestones.
Yeah, but here I am sitting here going, no, don't do that. And I'm looking at a Percy costume that has, like, 20 references from the show on it.
Yeah.
So I have no room to talk.
I know. It's we're all like this. Come on.
Right. Like, why are we like this? Like, what broke in us somewhere, like, competing or making stuff that you're just like, you know what, this isn't complicated enough. I'm gonna add all this.
Nope. I mean, it's like my Evil Queen, which I'm still working on one little side poof, because I decided, even though they weren't in the reference, that I was going to hand bead this period design onto it. And it takes like 3 months per poof. I'm hoping to have it done by Halloween. We'll see.
There we go. I've got 2 costumes going right now. One is not as complicated as the other. A long time ago, my friends group, they were down at Dragon Con, and they did a Jedi group of Marvel people.
Ooh.
Yeah, so like they had like different Marvel characters they made into Jedis and stuff. And I was like, well, that's cute. And I'm like, but I want to be Tony Stark. And they're like, of course you do. And I'm like, but Tony wouldn't be a Jedi. They're like, you're going to make him a Sith? I'm like, yes, I am. So I have a Sith Lord Tony Stark that I'm making right now, which is very fancy because it's like, it's got all the trimming on it. I've kept it like really dark golds and really dark reds to keep that Iron Man color to it. Yep. And it's funny now because like I was like, when I started creating mine again, like a million years ago, because I've been talking about this costume for a million years now. I was like, I want the cloak, but I don't feel like it would have like the big billowy sleeves, so I'm not going to have the big billow sleeves, but I'll have like the jacket part of it with the hood. And then lo and behold, spoilers, but not really, Obi-Wan Kenobi shows up in his TV show with the exact same thing I've been talking about.
So now it's canon.
Now it's canon, and I'm going to sue Disney because they stole my idea out of my head somehow. I'm not going to win, but like...
Yeah.
Like, but it's a thing, guys. I can totally make that. So there's that. And then the other one is because I didn't need one, but I'm making it as another Percy costume. They had done a one-shot a little while back where they were all kind of like in an apocalyptic world kind of thing. So it gave me an excuse to make another Percival costume.
Of course. As one does.
It's a big, long jacket, surprisingly enough. It's a vest.
Ooh.
I know. But on that vest, I have decided... because we all know it probably doesn't have it, but I have decided to embroider all of the holy symbols of all of the gods in which represents each of them. Because
you poor
I
thing.
hate myself.
Yes.
So that'll be like 3 years down the road. Who knows?
Eventually. I mean, that's the one thing I do like the way, I think as we've gotten older, we've gotten more relaxed of like, I don't con crunch anymore. I don't know about you. Like,
yeah. No.
If a con's coming up and it's not already ready, like no, it's going to the next event. There'll
Mm-hmm.
always be a next event.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's like, nah, if I'm not wearing it now, it ain't gonna get worn. So.
Exactly. Like I had a ponyo that I wore to Anime Boston. That was the chiffon thing, which I
Mm-hmm.
came back and like there's I don't know how, but there's like somebody like a kid put a marker to the back of it. It looks like I don't
Some
know when that
gremlins?
happens. I have no idea how it got that, but like
Little
there's like
crotch goblins.
blue. It could have just been me sitting on a pen, but like
Nope.
it's in a weird spot.
I blame crotch goblins.
But yeah, so like I got to figure out how to clean that out of printed chiffon. But
No.
the con before that, when I was at Fan Expo, I had a bunch of people like, "Oh, you should bring it, bring it, bring it." I'm like, I literally just finished it 2 days before the con. No, I have not worn it or tested it. No, I'm not rushing
Right?
it.
Like that was like back in my early 20s. I would be like, well, YOLO, I'm gonna wear it and see what happens.
Yeah.
And I can't roll like that anymore.
No, it's just too stressful. Like everything's on a cycle. If it's not
Mm-hmm.
done for this event, it'll be done for the next.
Right.
Or like if I want a costume done for a con, it's getting done like 4 to 6 months in advance
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want that stress.
Right.
I've gone through that so many times. Like, no.
I mean, that's really the best advice I can give anybody that's been cosplaying. Like, not new cosplayers, but cosplayers that are like in the middle of their game who like still do the stress out thing and want to get stuff done. It's like, eventually you're gonna hit a point just like we have where we're like, nah, dude, there's another con. There's
Not
always
con
another
crunching
con.
is self care.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or you know what? Get the private photo shoot. Treat yourself.
Oh yeah. Like I do a lot of photo shoots now just because it's fun. Like, I've got a couple photographers that I've gotten in with enough that
Mm-hmm.
I can usually call them up and be like, "Hey, when's your next location shoot? Can you put me on the
Mm-hmm.
roster?" Like, I want to get Ponyo. One of the photographers I know who's around here does water shoots,
Ooh.
and I am saving this costume. I got the fun shoot this weekend, but like this costume is going to be absolutely destroyed in that water shoot, and I'm 100% okay with it.
Right. Well, it's got
Like,
marker on it now, so trash.
exactly. Like I am going to jump in a pool and go underwater, and this costume will be destroyed, and that will be a perfect send off to it.
I'm like, can you promise me though, if they can manage it somehow, you have to do the Nirvana cover in it.
Oh my goodness, a Ponyo Nevada.
That's all I want.
Great.
That's the picture.
That's the picture.
That's the one.
Yeah, no, I was getting it out of my suitcase. Like, I got home, I opened my suitcase, I literally took my spray bottle of vodka and just like misted it over my entire suitcase and said, "I'm dealing with this later."
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah, my suitcase is still staring at me.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
my nice part is I don't have to travel again until September, so.
I don't have to go anywhere. Well, I mean, I'm going on a like family trip later on in the year, but like as far as convention goes, I'm not going anywhere till Anime Boston next year as of right now.
That's
Things
fair.
could change, but as of right now.
Yeah. I mean,
I thought about
Otakon for
going
me
to
is literally a metro ride away, so.
Right, exactly. Like why wouldn't you?
Exactly. Like I'm getting my badge mail ordered this year, but in previous years, I've gone Thursday, I've just hopped on the metro, gone straight to the convention center, hopped off it, got my badge, hopped right back on and gone home.
Perfect.
Like it was the easiest thing in the world.
I thought about going to Grant State Comic Con for a day this year.
Ooh.
And it's like I don't mind Grant State Comic Con. I think it's a cute little convention. It's a nice little like walk around, like relaxed convention. But the reasoning that I feel like I need to go this year is because Doug Jones is going to be there.
Ah, yes.
And I have a Winifred costume.
Ooh, you really should.
I really should treat myself.
Yeah.
I want to meet Dougie. And just sob over him and be like, I loved you as Billy the Butcher. And I don't think you understand how excited I am that he's back in Hocus Pocus 2.
I know. Isn't it coming to streaming first? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can see it right away.
Yep. September, I believe. End of September.
Yeah, I gotta put that on my to watch list. Mm-hmm. I'm still sheltered. Like, I don't go out to the theaters. I have to wait for everything to come to streaming.
It's okay. I've only seen 2 movies in theaters since the panoramic. One of them was Spider-Man No Way Home because I would have been damned if I didn't see it. And it was funny. Like, I had watched so many movies before everything like went to shit that I had so many points backed up on my Fandango that I used them to buy 3 seats.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I bought mine, the one next to me, and the one in front of me.
So no one is interrupting this.
Right. And I went to like an early morning show like so that nobody would like be missing out or anything. You know what I mean? It wasn't
Yeah.
like I was at the prime peak of like, oh, I just selfishly bought 3 seats for myself. But you know what? It's like, no, I have all these points I got to use up anyways. I want to go see this movie and I want to be safe about it. So I wore my little mask and I got my 3 seats and I got to see my movie and I felt good about it. And then the only other movie that I've seen in theaters is Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I just watched that when it came to streaming. I think it was like 2 days ago, 3 days ago now. It was okay. It felt like a video game.
It felt like an Evil Dead movie.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, honestly, like I was watching it and then I watched that first and then I watched the new Miss Marvel and I'm like, is it bad I like Miss Marvel better?
I want justice for Wanda. That's all I want.
Yeah, she was robbed. She was robbed. Like all that buildup we had for WandaVision and then that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just like, wait, why is she I mean, like, I get her being like a little bit crazy and everything,
Yeah.
but she's not the bad guy.
No, and like WandaVision kind of ended with her not tied up neat in a bow, but having dealt with it. And it felt like we were back to square one, honestly.
Right. It's like we're going to ignore that she kind of came to terms with the fact that she just needs to like get herself going. And I guess you could be like, oh, the book made her crazy. It's like, no.
No, that's a cop-out.
No, she's stronger than that. She would not get driven crazy by that book. I'm sorry.
No.
No, I'm not buying it, Marvel.
No.
And I'm also not buying that she's dead, so.
Yeah, me neither. No.
No, not buying that either.
Nope, we'll have to wait and see. I mean,
yeah, right.
To be fair, it's Marvel. Is anyone ever really fully dead?
Okay, but I'm also like still
other than Uncle Ben.
Yeah, Uncle Ben is very dead. Yeah, he dead. All of them. All 3 Uncle Bens dead.
Of course.
But I'm also still on the train that Tony Stark's not really dead. So, and they had a full-fledged funeral for that man.
Yep. Yeah. And
like,
hey, we're in the multiverse now. Anything's possible.
But I didn't see a body.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And I will live in that denial, Corey. I'll live in that denial.
Hey, well,
I'm just waiting for the moment. Here's the thing, with all the multiverse and everything, like you can't tell me eventually he wouldn't show up even as a cameo.
Yeah.
Like I'll be the person that's sitting there in the theater and he shows up at a cameo screaming, "I'm next!"
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the way Marvel worked, like the main heroes are too much of a moneymaker to like not have them come back at some point. So
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like even though we're getting all the new Avengers and stuff like that, like they're gonna revive them. You know, they're gonna reboot something.
Right.
We'll get them back.
Have you ever dressed up as anything from Marvel?
Yes, actually, I've done Miss Marvel a couple times.
Nice.
Well, one version of Miss Marvel, one version technically too is Captain Marvel, but like spandex and me don't usually get along well.
No, I don't feel like spandex are nice to anybody.
No, and I have a Peggy Carter as Captain America cosplay sitting around that, like, every time I try to get it on, I just like, I hate myself and I get out of it. So maybe one day I'll get the courage to actually pull it out and wear it to something other than just like trials, but like, yeah, because I've got like the whole pin curled wig and everything sitting on my shelf and just taunting me.
Just like sitting there, like taunting you, going, Corey.
Yep. Just sitting right next to Tinkerbell, which also I put on, and I'm like, oh, I feel so bleh in this.
Right.
Like, that's a feeling, like, sometimes you put on cosplays and you're like, I rock this. But then, you know, there's a lot of times I put on stuff and I'm just like, I can't wear this outside the house.
I mean, here's the thing. It's like all of these years that I've cosplayed, I have cosplayed as a female character twice in 20 years. Mm-hmm. And it's just one of those things where everyone's just like, oh, but I mean, you don't like cosplaying as a girl? And I'm like, honestly, no. And it's just like I said, like just what you said. It's just like you put a costume on and you're like, you know. Yeah. I put on costumes of characters that I like, be it male, female, whatever, you know. And it's just like, and I make sure that I don't have those moments. I want to I like what I like, you know. Yeah. So it's like, I dress up as a dude a lot. Yes, I am like, you know, like a drag king, whatever. Like I do, you know, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's just like, just cosplay what you're comfortable in.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's you know, you get it, like, plus size, it's like, yeah, there's some things, like, I'll put it on, I hear the voices in my head of, like, I step out, and I'm gonna be the very chubby Peggy Carter, like, I know that's what they're gonna say, and it's just like, I can't silence those voices yet.
Right.
Maybe one day I'll be able to, but
See, but
not
that's why
quite
you have to
there.
be Peggy Carter with my Tony Stark, because if anybody says anything, I'll just destroy them, and it won't be as Tony Stark.
Here
I'll
we
just
go.
put on the costume.
I'll wear Peggy Stark if I'm at an event and you can wear your Tony. There we
Yes!
go.
Which one, though?
That's, yeah.
But which one will I wear?
I know that's the problem.
It is honestly in my world, yes. Do I wear the suit? Do I wear the, his casual wear? Do I wear, like, the arc reactor? Do I not go with the arc reactor? Do I wear the Infinity War outfit?
Yeah. No,
I'm
honestly,
working on getting the white jumpsuit that they all wore.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, speaking of Marvel, so I was at Fan Expo in Cleveland, which of all places they had me go, Cleveland, which, to be fair, you'll love what was also happening in Cleveland that weekend. I'll get to that in a second. But I was judging their costume contest, which was new for them because they didn't have a craftsmanship contest before. They just had like a popular vote Comic-Con style contest.
Okay.
And we had somebody walk in who was dressed in the full armor of Moon Knight. And it was very clearly a novice coming in the room, looked like they were very, very nervous. And they get in front of us, and you would have gone nuts because their demeanor changed like that. It was a tearaway costume to the slick suit underneath. And they owned it.
Hey,
It was kind of like, I think they were going for like the personality switching a little bit.
Sure.
So like, the Moon Knight's original, very nervous museum curator in the full armor, and then the more confident one afterwards. It was like, yeah, but he owned it.
I think I would like to do Mr. Moon. That would be a good costume.
Oh yeah. No, he actually bought his suit. He did the tearaway armor, but he bought the suit, and it was like a rose white print, but from a distance, it only caught the slivers on the roses that look like moons. Like, on stage, it was perfect.
Oh my god, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
But this was the funny part. So, Fan Expo Cleveland was not the biggest game in town that weekend. There were 2 other events happening at the same time. The first one, at the same convention center, was a dance mom competition, which was very awkward walking. They were all super snooty. But the biggest event in town that weekend, that was bigger than both us and the dance mom combined, was the Leather Daddy convention. Yeah. So, like, you go out at night, and there's, like, thousands of leather daddies, because they basically had taken over every single hotel in the city.
Oh, God.
And they were, like, roaming the streets in big packs. They were the nicest people. They were super awesome. Like, I got to talking with one of them about leather tooling, but it was like, wow.
Because of course you would with a leather daddy.
Of course.
Of course.
Well, he had done, like, a bright neon leather, and I'm like, what dye did you use? Because, of course, like, that's how I'm going to do a conversation with them.
Right, and that's how we're going to end this episode.
There you go.
Corey, is there anything you'd like to promote while you're here?
Sure. I mean, I'm going to be at Otakon coming up. I don't know if the time this airs, if it'll be official or not. But I am going to another con coming up, a big one that most people know of in September. So watch my social media for that. But you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter as Lady Cells, LADYCELS.
Beautiful. And let's see. I'm going to promote my book again, because I always promote my book on here, because I feel like everyone should read it, because it is a good book. But I also feel like people should buy it for their friends, families, and everything else, because now for the foreseeable future, until some bullshit gets cleared up, which might not be ever, so you better buy a bunch of copies of this book. I'm donating $1 to the Sandy Hook Promise, Trevor Project, and now Planned Parenthood for the foreseeable future. So, $1 from each one of my sales is going to all 3 of those organizations for the foreseeable future. So that book is called That Could Have Gone Worse, Life Lessons from a Dinosaur Cosplayer. And you can buy it on Kindle form and paperback form on Amazon. So yeah, go do it. Go do the thing. Corey, thanks so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it. I love talking to you.
You're welcome. It was great to be here.
Yay! And we will catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye.